Hello again, guys. It's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and I have my weekly reseller sales update for you. So this is basically a roundup of all of the items I sold on Etsy, Poshmark, and eBay this week, which is December 9th through the 15th. And what I do is show you each item individually. I let you know how much it sold for, where I picked it up to begin with, and roughly how long it sat in my store for, because that's all useful and valid information usually. All right, so to get started with, we have Etsy. I had one sale this week. And it was this pair of WWF, like the World Wildlife Foundation. Is that what it stands for? Panda bear suspenders. They were vintage. They were from, I think, 1991. They were dated. And they sold for $19.95, and they were actually listed for around about a week. So quite a quick sale on Etsy there. And straight on to Poshmark. This week actually wasn't fantastic for me. It's just kind of slowing down a little bit, I suppose, with the holidays coming up. We are getting close to Christmas, of course. However, these sales videos are super useful for me because I had it in my mind that I basically had sold nothing. And you'll see in this video, I did. I still sold items. I still made plenty of profit. And so it's a good reminder for me to keep on going. And even when it seems like it's slow, you know, there's still money to be made. Okay, so the first thing is this per se. I'm going to show you the label there. This is actually under the same umbrella as Carlisle, which is definitely like a higher end brand. This was just a blue chambray button-up shirt. And I picked this up in my last haul, which was my like 30-minute challenge thrift haul. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it right here. That was a really fun sort of Black Friday whiz around a thrift store for me. And this is one of the items I grabbed, and it sold for $18 on a best offer. So this one was probably listed for about a week, I would say. Talbots, this one was also listed for less than a week. This was, as you can see, a paisley print cardigan. It was a size large, so not a plus size or anything like that, but it still moved really, really quickly. Next is this Kate Spade black laptop shoulder bag, or like a messenger bag, I suppose you could say. I picked this up at a yard sale. Oh, and I'm going to interject real quick. I say this every time, but I'm going to mention it anyway. My average cost of goods across the year for most items ends up being $1. So just keep that, like, bear that in mind when I'm telling you how much these items sold for, that usually I have about $1 invested in them. Side note. Anyway, let's carry on. So Kate Spade laptop bag. I picked this up at a yard sale. This was absolutely an older piece, sort of 2000s-ish, I would say, but it was in good shape, and it sat for probably about 2 to 3 months, maybe a little bit longer, and it sold eventually for a best offer of $35. Next is another Talbots piece. I picked this up purely because of like the knit and the print. It was like a kind of rainbow color-ish with that Fair Isle Nordic type look to it. Just a really, really cozy winter piece. Talbots is a brand that is absolutely bread and butter for me. It sells almost weekly on Poshmark. In fact, I just put a video up, it'll probably be yesterday when this goes up, a video very recently that's letting you know my 10 top, basically most frequently selling brands on the Poshmark app. Talbots was in there, but obviously there are 9 more and an honorable mention. So if you're interested in knowing exactly which brands sell the best for me most frequently on Poshmark in 2019, again, I will link that here and down below in the description. Feel free to check that video out and see exactly what moves the most for me. But this one sold for $24 on a best offer, and again, probably 1 to 2 weeks this piece was listed for. All right, next one is a pair of Born Brown, like open back leather Mary Jane shoes. And this is a brand I usually pick up only if it's like $1 or less, or a filler bag. These have sat for forever, but they weren't in the best condition. There were some scuffs and things like that. Yeah, so I was happy to see them go. They were listed, I think, for $25, and someone offered me $13. And honestly, they've been in my store for probably getting close to a year at this point. So I was happy to take the money and just kind of recoup that investment. You win some, you lose some. And the last piece was another item that has been in my store for the longest time since I started on Poshmark a year and a half ago. And it's a J. Crew piece. It was an older piece, but I thought it was still very nice, very classic. It was a plaid, it was wool, that kind of peacoat type look to it. Anyway, it sat for forever. It was listed for $35. I've sent out offers down to, I think, $20, and no one's taken them, but eventually someone came along and offered me $30. So obviously I was extremely happy, took it, and hopefully they're happy with their item. All right, on to eBay real quick. So the first item I picked up at a filler bag, unfortunately was open. These kind of older, like, well, I say vintage because this one was, I think, from the 90s, but it doesn't have to be vintage. Sometimes they do well when they're just like newer pieces as well, new and sealed. These kind of like craft sewing kits, especially the Christmas ones with stockings and things like that, or like the needlepoint. Reseller is a good one. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but obviously go on and take a look at comps and see what all is out there, because there's certain brands, Dimensions sometimes does okay, that I will always pick up when they're nice and cheap. Rummage sales, I find a lot of those kind of things. And I've had some really good luck in the past. I've even sold them for up to like $100 before, depending on exactly what it is that I picked up. So this one was open, unfortunately. It looked to be complete, and I took a picture of all of the insides, but I do have to disclose that it's open and that it may not be complete. And so it was up for $25. This particular one wasn't doing phenomenal anyway, and someone offered me $18, just sort of stating that they were a little bit nervous with it being open, and so I thought that was absolutely fine. So $18.99 is actually what this one sold for, and I thought that was very reasonable. Next is a Chico's piece. This was actually listed for just 2 or 3 days, so a really quick Chico sale. It had this kind of like butterfly wing print all over. It was a size medium or size 1 in Chico's vanity sizing. But yes, a fast flip, which actually is a little bit unusual for me when it comes to Chico, so I wouldn't say this is the norm. But someone offered me $17.56, and I went ahead and took it. Again, my buyers are paying shipping on all of these items as well, just to let you know. This is a brand I was unfamiliar with, Popana. You can see the name right there. I think this was filler bag again. I think it felt like quality, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I've put off listing this for a long time, like I procrastinated on it, and I probably shouldn't have, because it actually sold in just 2 weeks, even though it's just a very simple, very classic piece. And someone offered me $14, and I went ahead and accepted. Ann Taylor, this was a wrap dress, which I find do quite well. Those kind of career pieces, wrap dresses. Nice bold print. You can see the collage I did here to show the piece in full and then to show a close-up of the print for the buyer. I really like doing those for my thumbnails. And this piece sold for $27.99, a full asking price, as you see there. Next was a brand I wanted to try out. This was also in my most recent haul, the 30-minute thrift haul challenge, and it was Ivanka Trump. And I've sold the shoes by her brand before, but never a piece of clothing. Honestly, the comps didn't look phenomenal when I brought it home, so I thought, oh, maybe I failed. But it sold in under a week, so actually it was a nice quick turnover again, and that was $15.51 that one sold for. Next is a Soma piece. Soma is extremely hit or miss for me. I find the pajama sets do quite well, but overall it tends to sit for me unless it's something particularly exciting or it just hits the right buyer at the right time. However, this piece did sell for $15. I took a best offer because it had been a little while since I'd listed it, and I thought that was fair enough. I'm just happy to move a piece of Soma, if I'm honest. Victoria's Secret, this bra, it was a 34B, so I usually try to get like the much larger sizes in bras just because they tend to be a bit more sought after in terms of pre-owned, but I grabbed this because I really liked the rhinestone detail on the straps and the bow. I just thought it was very pretty and very sort of festive and stuff for the time of year, and that sold for a best offer of $15. Torrid, this piece sold for $11. I went ahead and took the best offer, mostly because I was having a bad day. I had not had many sales, and I decided to just, get some movement going. Plus, the size tag was cut out, so it was a total estimate. It was a very, very simple, basic piece. All those things combined, $11 seemed like a fair offer, plus that shipping. Next was an item I was selling on behalf of my husband. It's Funko Pop. It was a convention exclusive, which is something I often mention to look out for. This one was Killer Clowns from Outer Space, slim. And when I first listed him, I thought that he was doing okay, but honestly, $24.99 was about average what he was selling for. And luckily, I did get that full asking price plus the shipping. Pair of jeans, AG jeans, or Adriano Goldschmied. Oh, I hope I said that right. The Willow, which was a dark wash straight jean. These have sat for a while, even though this is a very good jeans brand. This was an older pair. I will show you the tags inside. These are the older tags. You can kind of tell really by looking, I think. But still a very, very quality pair of jeans. And they sold for best offer of $30. Probably were listed for about 6 months, I would say. Lafayette 148, which is a very nice sort of high-end brand. I took a lower offer on this. So you can see my original listing price was about $50. This was a blazer with metallic detail, but I think the style and maybe the print was it really needed a very specific buyer, and it sat for quite a while. So I took a best offer of $25, again, just to get some movement in my store, and it had been somewhat of a stale item after about 6 to 7 months of being listed. And the last item this week was this Lucky Brand coral semi-sheer blouse. Very, very pretty, but a size small. I do find large and up does better in Lucky Brand personally. And even though it's very pretty, I took $13 as an offer for that, which is a little bit lower than I usually take for Lucky Brand, but certainly fair. All right, you guys, so that is all of my sales for this week. I hope that was useful. Let me know down in the comments as usual how your sales are doing. Have they slowed down a little bit as we get towards Christmas? I hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Come back and hang out. There'll be plenty more reseller related content, Poshmark, eBay, and Etsy coming your way. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let YouTube and me know that I am doing an okay job and you're enjoying this content, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, you guys.